Hello, first grade. This is Mrs. Hurst again. I'm going to be reading more chapters for you today in Lulu and the Brontosaurus. If you remember from the first 4 chapters, we met Lulu and we discovered that she was a little bit on the spoiled side, which means that she usually got what she wanted. So she was not used to hearing her parents say no. And when they did, she gets very upset. So this time she had asked to get a Brontosaurus for her birthday. And of course her parents had to say no. So what did she decide to do, if you guys remember? Yes, that's right. She decided to go and find one on her own. So she packed her bag up and she left. So that's where we left off. So we're going to start on chapter 5 today. Okay, so chapter 5. Sorry about that. Okay. But Lulu hadn't forgotten that she was going to get herself a Brontosaurus. And luckily for Lulu, there was a great big forest not too far from her house. The animals in that forest had never bothered anybody because nobody had ever bothered them. But watch out, creatures. Here came Lulu, trudging through the forest, swinging her small suitcase back and forth, and in a quite loud voice that was sure to wake the napping animals from their naps, singing this song. See if I can get it in there. I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. So that was her song. So the forest that Lulu was trudging through was overgrown with trees whose branches scratched her face and whose roots she tripped over. But Lulu hardly noticed because she was thinking just one thought. And you know what that thought was. So on she went, swinging her suitcase and singing her song too loud and annoying all the creatures in the forest, and being the same big pain out there that she was back home in her house. Until, let's see what happens here. I'm gonna try to make it so you can see both sides. There she is on the pathway. And then there's something, it's like a snake. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. So slithering down from the branch of a tree came a long, fat, brown and black snake who had been peacefully snoozing till Lulu woke him up. Sleepy and grumpy and hissing an exceedingly nasty hiss, he wrapped himself around Lulu, around and tighter, and told her she'd really be sorry that she had awakened him. I'm gonna squeeze you dead, he says. Okay, so snakes don't talk, but in my story they do. And Lulu said, not if I squeeze you deader. So Lulu squeezed the snake hard, and the snake yelled, ow, and quickly unwrapped himself from Lulu. And Lulu, wiping some snake sweat from the palms of her snake-squeezing hands, went on trudging deeper into the forest. And this is chapter 6. Here's her song again. I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. Singing her Brontosaurus song in a louder and louder voice, Lulu was waking up nappers all over the forest. Some were annoyed, some were extremely annoyed. Amongst the extremely annoyed was a silky, slinky lady tiger who yawned and stretched and rubbed her big green eyes, and then, with a ferocious roar, sprung out from behind some trees and pounced on Lulu. Ooh. You think she'll be scared? I would be scared. I'm just going to let you guys look at the picture. Okay. You're a big pain, the tiger said, so I'm going to eat you up for my afternoon snack. Said Lulu. I'm bonking you on the head. And swinging with all her might, Lulu bonked the tiger with her suitcase. The tiger yelled, "Ow!" and fell down in a pitiful black and orange striped heap on the forest floor. Lulu brushed off a few tiger hairs that were stuck to the side of her tiger-bonking suitcase and went on trudging deeper into the forest. Oh my. This is chapter 7. As the afternoon turned into late afternoon and then into early evening, Lulu trudged even deeper into the forest. When she felt hungry, she opened her suitcase and took out a pickle sandwich. Does that sound good to you? I don't know about a pickle sandwich. So here she is. Let me see if I can let you see it. When she felt cold, she took out a sweater and socks. And when it got buggy, she opened her suitcase and took out some bug spray and sprayed. She was feeling a little tired, but she kept trudging and swinging her suitcase and singing her song. See if you can sing it with me. Ready? I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. Good job, guys. Ooh. I'm going to let you look at the picture. Okay. Now, a big black bear who liked listening to the music that insects make in the early evening couldn't hear their song because Lulu's was louder. Plus, a lot of insects were deader because Lulu kept on spraying them with her spray. This made him mad. Then madder than that. And he growled a thunderous growl. And then he lumbered heavily down on the forest path and stood on his two hind legs in front of Lulu. Waving a big clawy paw in her face, he said, "You're interrupting my favorite program." Please don't give me an argument. In my story, bears are allowed to have their favorite programs. So I am going to scratch you to pieces with my claws. Ooh. Do you think Lulu is afraid? I think she should be. Let's see what happens. There she is. I'll let you look at the picture. Lulu glared at the big black bear and put her hands on her hips. "Nobody's scratching me," she told the bear. Then she jumped as high as she possibly could in the air. Then she landed as hard as she possibly could on his foot. The bear yelled, "Ow!" And he went limping away as fast as a bear could limp with one stomped foot. And after shaking some broken bear toenails off the bottom of her bear stomping shoes, Lulu went trudging deeper into the forest. That's her stomping on his foot. This is chapter 8. Lulu was now in the deepest, darkest, quietest part of the forest. It was getting quite late, and she was getting quite tired. She took her sleeping bag out of her suitcase, spread it on the ground, and lay down to sleep. But before she slept, she sang her song once more. Okay, get ready and you can sing with me. Ready? This is her sleeping. Ready? Let's sing. I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. I'm gonna get a Brontosaurus for a pet. Actually, she never even got to sing the last line because before she could get to it, she was sleeping. And you can see all of the trees. These are the tall trees right here. So she's way down here, and then these are all the tall trees that she's looking up to. Okay, this is chapter 8 1/2. Have you ever seen a chapter 8 1/2? Well, here it is. At dawn, Lulu woke to the sound of birds calling to one another, and the dusky, musky smell of the forest floor, and the feel of a gentle late summer breeze blowing across her face, and the taste, because she hadn't bothered to brush her teeth before bedtime, of yesterday's pickle sandwich. She also woke to the sight of something so huge, so enormous, so utterly gigantic that she thought, no, she was sure that she was still dreaming. It looked like a mountain, except this mountain had legs, a very long neck, and a very small head. Oh my goodness. It was, as I'm sure you've already figured out, the Brontosaurus that Lulu had been searching for. Oh my goodness, let's see if we can see the Brontosaurus. Oh my goodness. So that's one part of it. That's his foot. Oh my goodness. I don't know if that's a tree or a foot, but I think that one's his foot. Oh my goodness. There she is looking up at it. Let's see what comes on. Okay. So this is chapter 9. So we're actually going to stop right here because we're going to read the rest tomorrow. We're going to read a few more chapters tomorrow. And Mrs. Donato is going to be reading to you then. So now it's time for you to go into Canvas and look on page 6. Today you're going to be looking on page 6 of the Lulu booklet that is attached to Canvas. And please answer just those few questions. Take a picture, submit it, or you can email it to me or put it on Dojo for me. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Love you. See you soon.